You know how I got rich? Work ethic. That's the basis behind who I am. It's my work ethic. It's not being smarter than anybody else. It's not being faster than anybody else. It's that relentless drive to be better than I was the day before, and then I just don't fuck up on things that I already know that I shouldn't be doing. It's not putting myself in a position to have to suffer in the same way that other people suffer from those self-inflicted wounds. Most of the things that you do in your life and most of the ways in which you fumble the bag is because you doing shit that you know you shouldn't be doing, and then you call it a mistake. And when you call it a mistake, you make an excuse for yourself as to not be fully responsible and take ownership of the situation that you in. I'll take work ethic over talent 10 times out of 10. And the reason that I'll do that is because you can't teach work ethic at all. And there's been plenty of talented people that didn't have the work ethic, and then they didn't make it, or they didn't get or become as successful as they should have become. But it's plenty of people that overcame every single talented obstacle or a lack of talent in order to truly become great and truly become successful, because I'm a living testimony of it, right? Everything that I've done in my lifetime, and I've conquered and overcame literally everything. I mean, I've taken way more L's than I've taken dubs, but the dubs are huge. When they finally come, it's like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I just put my head down, right? I have this relentless work ethic and this relentless passion to just continue to go forward and just beat it down every single day. When we talk about networking, one person at a time, every day. Every day I'm out there. It's just like clockwork, right? When you talk about content creation, I don't miss. When you talk about consistency when it comes to corporate America and continuing to, make that evolution or continue to grind towards that success, I don't miss. When it comes to relationships and just being better every single day than I was the day before, I don't miss. And, I get up at the same time every morning or earlier, depending on the circumstance. And it does not matter what my requirement is or what happens. If I have to fly over to the West Coast, then I pivot and I do what I need to do. But I still don't miss. And most people are inconsistent. They don't have the work ethic, and they just don't have the passion to be greater than they are the day before. And so as a result, you see the separation between the haves and the have-nots. And most people think that it's resources. Is not. Because money is just a tool. But I can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. And most rich people, contrary to popular belief, actually want to help other people. Most people that have that are in a position of power to help somebody else usually want to. But usually it's the people that don't have that make excuses as to why they won't even show up. So they don't even come to the front. Think about it. Think about these inner cities, right? And these are the most densely populated areas in the United States of America. And if you go out into the suburbs, a lot of times, the voter turnout rate, when you're talking about midterm elections and things like that, and even regular, national elections, are much greater than the voter turnout rate in the places that are the most depressed. But all you got to do is show up. But what you'll see is, and you might even see it in these comments, is people will make excuses as to why they didn't or won't show up. My vote don't count. I gotta work, even though the polls is open all day, even though you can do mail-in ballots. My vote don't count. I gotta work. It just ain't worth it. A lot of people don't even know who their city council is. They don't know their treasurer. They don't even know their secretary of state. They don't know who their representative is inside of their legislative branches. They don't know the governor or none of that. And all of that is just being informed. That's just going to look it up and finding out about policies and things like that. But people are lazy. And those that are making the decisions, those that are successful, are more informed. Libraries are free. There's a ton of information. You got YouTube University here. Anton pours into you every day. But it's the people that are intentional. And I'm telling you, shout out to my bag chasers inside of the Patreon. Everybody that I interact with is winning. Everybody that I see that's at these meetups, we got one next weekend, literally 7 days from me dropping this video, winning. They are not making excuses. They're not running in the victim Olympics. They doubling and tripling their income. They get into that bag. They starting businesses. And it's all because they are being intentional and they have the work ethic, and it has nothing to do with talent. Because if you just show up and show up regularly and it's consistent, you will start to see things work out for you. You will start to see people work in your favor. You will start to see people have a vested interest in you being successful, but very few people do so, right? When you think about these entertainers, you know what the problem is? A lot of these dudes, it's not that they not hot. It's not that they fell off. It's that they don't drop. You get their best work when they hungry. You get their best work when they ain't got shit. You get their best work when they just want it so bad, but then they get comfortable, right? And you see people in different environments, or you see different people with different circumstances, you know what I'm saying? And they change and they evolve based off of what they get. I'll give you an example, right? Let's just say that the dude that's hungry with the entertainer and he want to drop an album, and you get his best work. Often at times, the best album is usually the first album because they hungry and they want it, and you can hear it in their voice, you can hear it in their soul. And then the ones that are successful are consistent and they continue to beat that door down, right? They don't care what happened. They don't care, about their baby mama. They don't care about no hoes. They don't care about none of that, but they gonna get that music out and they gonna grind and they gonna work, right? So you get the people that get comfortable, A. And then you get the people that don't even show up in the first place, because if nobody was rocking with their first album, and then they're not tripping. Also, these entertainers a lot of times, take the Jay-Z's for example, their first album is probably their least successful one, but they wasn't consistent enough to get over there and get to that bag. I look at Ross, and Ross is probably the least successful megastar that I've ever seen as far as record sales. But the dude is consistent. The dude is constantly in your face. The dude is constantly promoting. The dude is constantly talking. And you cannot help but to love a dude that is on their grind, because you want to be inspired by and you want to continue to go in that direction that you want to go in. So as a result, those type of people win. But make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. This weekend I am dropping an exclusive interview, and I think you guys are going to absolutely, positively love it. It's going to be awesome. In addition to that, if you need to get in touch with me, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and we're going to get you popping. We're going to get you set up for a Zoom call, a personal phone call, all of that, because it's time to get it, man. It's time to grind. It's time to stop making excuses as to what you don't have or who's not doing what for you, and starting to make the way or make the path towards success. If you are in a city in which they ain't rocking with you, get hot or move into a different city. You ain't got nothing but time anyway. You're going to just be sitting wasting your time and being broke, talking about what you could have been, or why the white man ain't doing nothing for you, when in reality it's your fault. It's no person. Very, 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 very few people. I'm talking about you have to be have some kind of, deformity or something like that to prevent you from being successful. And I even know people that's like that, that's getting to the bag. Man, listen, ain't no excuses. We're not even going to speak to the anomalies. We're going to speak to the majority. And the reality is that talent can only take you so far. But that work ethic, that's going to be the separation between those that's great and those that's just regular. And if you just want to be regular, then that's cool. But if you want to be great, it's going to take something completely different from that. So listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe, hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. And again, make sure you tap into the Patreon, because that's where we do all of our work. We do the real work in the Patreon, all right? I love you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.